Hello everyone, this is Amanda Fallon with the Community Foundation of North Louisiana. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through all the technical aspects of your Give for Good profile, how to build and edit each piece, and what each piece means. So let's go ahead and get started by logging in. We're going to go to the Give for Good homepage, which is giveforgoodnla.org. Once we get to the homepage, we're going to move over to the Login button and log in as a nonprofit. Since we're all current participants, we're going to log in as a returning organization and then fill out your credentials. If you've forgotten your password or have not reset it for the year, you can select the Forgot Your Password button and you should receive an email to reset your password. Once you've logged in, the system will bring you to the dashboard. The dashboard is an overview of your information. On the far left, you will see announcements from the Community Foundation staff, and under important event dates, you will see a timeline of all the upcoming dates and trainings that you need to be looking forward to. On the bottom tabs, you will find an overview of your donations that you've received so far. Nothing will be populated here until giving actually begins on April 19th. On the first tab, you have your event goal progress, which shows your total dollars raised and donations received across all of Give for Good. We will skip the second tab because we do not utilize the matching funds, so you may ignore that. On the third tab, your early giving donations progress will show giving and donations received during early giving that takes place from April 19th to May 2nd. On the last one, your fundraising page progress, you can set goals for your peer-to-peer fundraisers and how much you want to raise through that avenue. If you'd like to make changes to these goals, you will just click on each of the buttons to update it. These goals do not appear publicly. So let's take a look at everything that can be changed on your profile from a public view. We will click on the My Public Profile tab. You should be familiar with this page because this is where you went to register and update your information. This information should already be completed and stored here, but if you want to change anything, you can just click Edit My Public Profile and it will pull up all the fields again. A couple of things to note here on this page. Custom URL means you get to pick the tag at the end of your Give for Good link. So for example, for the Community Foundations page, this is just a shell page that I'm using as an example. Our profile would be giveforgoodnla.org/CFNLA. You can use your organization name, an acronym, or a motto. For example, if you wanted your tag to be End Hunger, or if you are a school or organization with a mascot, you could also use your mascot name. You can get really creative here and use whatever tag you would like as long as it's not taken. So let's scroll down to the operating budget. Your operating budget number will not appear publicly. However, we do use the budgets to sort everyone into groups for prizes. You'll be sorted into a small, medium, or large category for prize awarding. We will announce those groups at a later date. Also, donors can use the search function to search by budget range when they're searching for nonprofit organizations. For example, a donor can choose to look at organizations that have an operating budget of under $100,000, and this number that you put here will sort you into those predetermined ranges. Scrolling down just a bit, you have your sector and your parishes served. These also don't appear on your public profile, but donors can search by these parameters, and so it does affect how you appear in search results. Scrolling down here, you have your address information. You have your mailing and your physical. We do require both. Your mailing address is really important because this is where we're going to mail your Give for Good check. So you want to make sure that this address is correct. For your physical address, we understand that a lot of organizations may be operating out of a residential address, so you can choose whether you would like your physical, mailing, or no address published on your public profile. Scrolling down, you have your social media and website. If you have a link for your website, your Twitter, Facebook, or any other social media accounts, you'll provide them here. If there's an account that you don't utilize, you can just check, my organization does not have this account. For example, the Community Foundation does not have an Instagram account. Your mission statement will appear at the very top of your profile, and we're going to take a look at a profile example in just a few minutes. Here we have more about us and testimonials. These are optional, but I highly recommend filling them out as best as you can so that your organization has a really attractive profile to donors on Gift for Good Day. At the very bottom here, we have keywords. These are words that maybe you didn't get to work into your More About Us or your mission statement segment, and these will help you appear in search results. So any words that appear on your profile or in the keyword section means that you will show up in these search results for that word. For example, if I was representing a food bank, I would use keywords like hunger, pantry, food, relief, soup kitchen, emergency relief, or words that apply to your organization that you think donors may use to find you. Just make sure that you're separating the words or phrases with commas because that's how they'll appear in the search results. Once everything is done in the way you want it, just click Submit to save that information and it will appear on your public profile. So moving on to the next section, let's talk a minute about donation levels. Donation levels will appear on the checkout page when a donor chooses to give to your organization. If you don't have any levels, it will just be a blank field that asks the donor how much they want to give to your organization. They will type in the amount that they would like to donate. However, if you have donation levels, these buttons will appear on top of that field where they can type in their own level, and it kind of gives a suggested donation amount for donors. This is a great way to tie a donation amount to a particular need and make an emotional connection with the donor so that they will know exactly how their dollars are being used. For example, here we have $25 feeds one family of 4. And we have $250 would provide a scholarship for one child. You are welcome to hide or show any of these. Let me just walk you through how to add a new one. Here you would just enter your amount. So let's just say $500 would provide shelter for one family for 1 month. Okay, hit Submit, and that will appear here. Again, you can delete, edit any of these that you would like. So one thing to keep in mind, these are things that you would want to set for realistic purposes. So if you have a donor who, if your donations typically range around $1,000, you would not want to put a $5,000 or $10,000 level. So just think about your typical donations and the donors that you were trying to reach. So moving on to multimedia, this is where the pictures and videos for your public profile are housed. So you can see here the ones I've previously uploaded from other years. You can edit them or delete them if you would like. You can upload new ones, and you can also move them around by using these buttons here. So let's take a look at how you would add a new entry. You're going to click the Add Multimedia Entry button. You would enter the title of your image and the type. So if you have a video, you're going to need to have that hosted already on YouTube or Vimeo, and then you would just provide that link here so that it would take you directly to those video hosting sites. And then you just hit Submit. All of these multimedia items will pop up here on your multimedia page. Over here we have programs. Programs are where you can give an overview about the different work that your organization does. If you're an organization that has multiple programs, say you have a food pantry, a coat closet, or an after-school program, you can highlight each of those separately here without making your About Me section on your main profile very long and cumbersome. So let's take a look at how to add a new program. We'll just hit that button. You'll put in the program name and the budget. You're welcome to put that, but that is not required. So for this purpose, we are going to enter our early childhood education program. And then here we're going to put a brief description. So our early childhood education program is about providing scholarships for childcare for children ages 0 to 3. So once we have that in there, you're welcome to scroll down here and then enter the beneficiaries, and that is the population in which you are serving. So for this purpose, we would choose infants and babies. We would choose families. We would choose, let's see, what else? Here we go. Children birth to age 3. So that is optional, but I think it's always a good idea for people to really be able to hone in on exactly who you're serving. And down here below, more optional information you could provide is things like long-term success, short-term success, how you monitor your progress, and then evidence of your program's success. So those are typically things that you would find on a grant application. So you may have those in grants that you've submitted in the past. And so we always recommend just filling out as much information as you can so that a donor can see how effective your program is. Once you have all that done, you would hit submit, and here you will see it populate up on this screen. So events are events that your organization hosts. This is where you can list a Gift for Good related event you may be hosting, or any other type of event unrelated to Gift for Good that is coming up for your organization. If you're having a Gift for Good related event, you'll have to adhere to the 2022 event guidelines and submit the the insurance information as outlined in the resource section. If you have a non-Gift for Good event coming up, say a fundraiser, festival, 5K, anything like that happening year-round, you can publish your events here. So it's really simple. You just click Add a New Event, fill out the name, the date, times, event description, and you can select even whether it's a virtual or in-person event. Here you can provide an event link, so that would be maybe any place you want to send an interested person. So Zoom link, a Facebook event, Eventbrite ticket link, your website, wherever you think that you want to point those donors for more information. You put it there and then click submit. So volunteer is where you can list your volunteer opportunities. You'll put the name of your opportunity, a description about the work that will be done, location, dates, start and end times. And you can also publish your volunteer contact information by selecting yes or no. If you enter yes, you will then be able to enter that contact information here. Once you're done with that, you hit submit and it will appear on your volunteer page. The needs section was built to show the in-kind donation needs for your organization. So for example, if you're having a coat drive, a canned goods drive, or just have a need for any donated items, you can list them here. So this works in a similar manner. You just click add, you put the name of the need and any description that you may have, hit submit, and then that will appear on your needs page. Okay, fundraisers, this is where you will see all of your peer-to-peer fundraisers. We're going to have a completely separate training on what peer-to-peer fundraising is and how to make it effective for your organization. So you'll see your active fundraisers here. You can also view this information under your My Fundraisers tab at the top menu. You'll receive an email anytime a donor, board member, or volunteer sets up a fundraiser on your behalf. You do not have to approve them, but if you would like to remove them, you can do so here. If it's something that you think might be fishy or you don't want it to appear on your profile. You'll be able to track all of those peer-to-peers here on this page. Documents do not appear publicly, but this is where you have gone to upload your nonprofit agreement, your certificate of insurance for events, and your Secretary of State certificate of good standing. So you're all probably familiar with this, but if you wanted to add a new document, you just go here, type the document name, select the type, upload the file, and then enter the document year, and hit submit. And that will appear here. If you've been with Gift for Good for a little while, down here under your archive documents, you will see old documents from previous years. You're welcome to archive anything that doesn't pertain to this current year. Okay, on contacts, we don't utilize this, so you can just ignore that. Okay, so now we have everything on your public profile set up. So let's take a look at My Donations. I'm not actually going to click this because we do have donation information stored there. This is where all the Lanyap Fund donations come to. So when you click on My Donations, this will be where you will see all of your donor information, who gave to your organization, unless they choose to remain anonymous. You'll have their address, email address, phone number, the amount, and so you can appropriately thank them after the event and use those lists for donor development and relations throughout the year. As a reminder, the Community Foundation sends out a tax receipt immediately via email, so you do not need to issue a tax receipt to your donors. This is strictly to be used for development and thank you purposes. All donation information from 2017 on is housed here because that's how long we've been with the Neon One system. So again, My Fundraisers is where you can track your peer-to-peer fundraisers. And under My Users is where you can see who has access to your Gift for Good profile on the back end. So if you have other staff members or volunteers that are helping you, you can add the users here. So let's take a look at a user that already exists. So I'm the user for this account. I can go here and click Manage Settings. If I click Edit, I can only edit my first and last name. Something new, we cannot edit email addresses anymore. So if you do have a new email, you'll have to add an entirely new user and then go back and delete the old one. You can remove access. Let me go back to that, sorry. You can remove access for someone, but just be careful because you do not want to accidentally remove yourself. So this is where you can grant that person access to receive email notifications anytime a donation is received throughout Gift for Good. In order to add a new user, you just click Add New User. You'll give a first name and a last name and then their email and click Submit. Neon One will then send an email to that individual to create their login credentials. So you don't have to have any hand in creating a password or anything like that. So you just click Submit and that will trigger a registration email to that email address. Lastly, we have resources. So here is pretty much anything and everything you may need pertaining to Gift for Good. So here we have important dates. We have any of the documents that were necessary to register your nonprofit agreement, eligibility requirements, any FAQs that you might think are housed here, and then information on how to download your Secretary of State, which you've all done all of that already. Here we have event guidelines and insurance information, which we will be updating very soon. And then the list of prizes, you're welcome to take a look at that and see how you may strategize to earn some prizes on Gift for Good Day. Here's the information on how to create a peer-to-peer fundraiser. Again, we'll have trainings on both of those coming up, so you really don't need to worry about that. Anything else that you may have, here's the email updates. So this will be where we have any email that has come to you. We will log all of those here so you can go back and access those as needed. And then here's your training resources. So again, these will all be updated shortly as we host those trainings. You're welcome to come back and view those. They will be Zoom, so you can view those recordings at any time. Also, here we have any of the logo variations that you might need for any of your promotional materials, print materials, things like that. Additional graphics and other information. So here is you'll see some information coming soon about our media partners and different things that they're offering our nonprofits to participate in and discounts and things like that they're offering. So please just check back there to see what's coming up. Okay, so now that we've gone over all of that, let's take a look at an example page. Let's see how everything will look under your profile So here you can see all the elements that we edited under your public profile. We have your contact information here. These are all of the links that were provided for your various social media networks and websites. Your mission statement appears here at the top. And then we have the multimedia, your pictures and your videos. Below here we have any fundraisers that you have going on, again, peer-to-peer fundraisers. Here we have your more about us in the testimonials section. This is where you want to provide any overview about your program. So anytime you make any changes, just go ahead and take a look at the public profile to make sure it's appearing how you would like it to. Under the programs, this is where you will see all of those individual services that you provide. And when you click the view button, you can see more details about those. So this is how all that information that you're putting on the back end is going to populate. Here we have your events. So anything that you have, whether it's Gift for Good or non-Gift for Good related, you're welcome to publish that here. And then hopefully we're going to be using this as a year-round resource. So this is where, anytime someone calls and asks about events or any volunteer opportunities, we're hoping that all of our organizations will have that information listed here on their Gift for Good page, so that when people call the community foundation, we have a place to point them to find that information. Here's where you have any of those in-kind needs as well. So this should be just everything that your organization does or needs throughout the year. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. Thank you guys for sticking with the tutorial. If you have any questions, please give us a call or email us at giftforgood@cfnla.org. Thank you.